This is a huge space, okay, at the Broward Convention Center. It is empty. Empty.
This is your star? This is who the mainstream media expects me to believe is the face of the WNBA? This is who the media claims elevated the sport of make-believe basketball? Not only does Angel Reese struggle to make layups, she also struggles to sell makeovers because her Barbie dream house, it was completely empty this past weekend. There were no signs of life. Hell, there weren't even people looking through the windows just to see what was inside. I am not surprised that Angel Reese couldn't sell tickets to what was essentially a meet and greet. Why would anyone pay to see the self-proclaimed Barbie when they're not paying to see her play basketball? The Chicago metro area has around 10 million people. Now, if you include the people who are there illegally, or as the doofus mayor and Shamu-sized governor prefers to call them, undocumented, they just forgot their papers. If the number of illegal immigrants was included, Chicago probably has a population of 10 billion. The Chicago Bravado, they play their home games in the Wintrust Arena. Now, this so-called arena, it only holds around 10,000 people, so it's really more like a civic center. But for someone like Angel Reese, who the mainstream media claims is a huge star, selling 10,000 tickets in a city of 10 million, that should be no problem, right? Most nights, there are more empty seats than asses in seats. So I'm struggling to understand why Angel Reese thought there was enough interest for people to pay to simply be in her presence. If they're not willing to pay to see you play basketball, why in the hell would they be willing to pay to see you sit on your Barbie throne and convert oxygen to carbon dioxide? I say this all the time. There is a huge difference between being a star and being a mainstream draw. There's damn sure a difference in being an internet star and being a draw. There are a lot of social media stars. There are a lot of people with a following online. Hell, I have a following, but I'm not delusional. Last summer, when we were staying in Nashville, I had a booking agent reach out to me asking if I would be interested in taking my show on tour. His company works with podcasters and comedians to book live shows across the country. He works with some pretty big names, and he wanted to know if I would be interested in going on tour. While I definitely appreciated the opportunity and I was definitely flattered, I told him no. Why? For starters, it's not something I'm really interested in doing. I am not a comedian. I have a lot of respect for stand-up comedians. Stand-up comedy is arguably the hardest job in entertainment. I've never performed in a dive bar, much less making it to the point where I'm touring the country. But the main reason I turned him down is because I didn't want to waste his time. I told him honestly, I'm not a big enough draw. I don't think dozens of people would pay to see me perform, much less hundreds or even thousands. That's called self-awareness. It is the opposite of delusion. It's having the ability to admit you're not that big of a deal. Unfortunately for Angel Reese, she allowed herself to believe the media hype. She allowed herself to believe that she was a big star. And because of that delusion, Angel Reese allowed herself to be humiliated this weekend when no one showed up to her Barbie Dream Fest. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Fluffer Noggin. I am not a big snacker. I don't eat a lot of junk food, but there are times during the week when I'm too busy to stop and grab lunch. I need something quick and easy, but also filling enough to get me to dinner. One thing I found that fills me up, beef jerky. Problem is, a lot of beef jerky tastes like you're biting into a flat tire. Good news is, I no longer have that problem because I started buying gourmet beef jerky from Fluffer Noggin. Now, you're probably wondering, what the hell is a Fluffer Noggin? Fluffer Noggin is gourmet beef jerky that is 100% made in America. You don't have to worry about consuming foreign cows because all these cows are homegrown. Each recipe from Fluffer Noggin is handcrafted with the perfect amount of seasoning. First beef jerky I've ever tasted that literally melts in your mouth. Fluffer Noggin comes in a variety of flavors, ranging from mango habanero, Korean barbecue. They even have a flavoring of craft beer. Or, if you're like me, you'll just stick with the original style flavoring. So click the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Use my promo code BTL30, BTL30. Receive 30% off your first purchase with Fluffer Noggin. Over the weekend, Angel Reese presented the Barbie Dream Fest at the Broward County Convention Center in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Now, in fairness to Angel Reese, this wasn't exactly her event. The event was organized by a company called Mischief Management. There were vendors, there were booths set up, but Angel Reese was booked as the primary attraction. If I had to guess, the management company booked Angel Reese hoping to get people in the door. I hope they didn't pay the self-proclaimed Barbie a flat rate for her appearance. I hope they worked out some sort of commission structure for her final payout, because if they paid Angel Reese, say, $10,000 to show up, they lost most of that 10 grand. When I say no one was there, I mean no one was there. You don't have to take my word for it. Uncle KC always comes with the proof. Listen to one of the only people who bothered to show up. Watch it for yourself.
This is their Barbie dream house, a cardboard standing box with a VW wagon. It would have been nice, but the doors were closed, so you couldn't even go inside of it. As you can see, everything else was just spread out, open, very empty, very scarce. And it was just fee after fee.
Y'all, we came to this because they were so hyped online. It was, a bunch of vendors. They made it seem like there was so much to do. This is a huge space, okay, at the Broward Convention Center. It is empty. Empty.
I have seen more people at a WNBA game. I have seen larger crowds in the secondary dump known as Unrivaled, and the high school gym they play in holds about 800 people. This event was heavily promoted on social media. If you were to base star power on social media following, Angel Reese is the biggest star in the WNBA. The media reiterates this point every year when they boast about the millions of lonely men who follow Angel Reese on social media. But a following on social media, that does not equate to a following in the real world. You know who is constantly on social media? It's not most of your mainstream stars. Michael Jordan, he's not on social media. Steph Curry isn't really active on Twitter. Taylor Swift, people selling out arenas, people with major careers. In most cases, they're not very active on social media. But you know who is? The people who wish they were stars. Social media gives them validation. It feeds their delusion. But it's all an illusion because none of it is real. The media is not doing Angel Reese any favors. Hell, the media isn't doing the WNBA any favors by continuing to pretend that WNBA players are major stars. They're not. When you push someone to be a star and it's not organic, it can eliminate their drive to improve. For decades, the reason most people haven't watched the WNBA, it's because the on-court product sucks. At the same time, the media they continue to polish the turd. This league is amazing! The physicality, the unforced turnovers, the missed layups. You can only find this exciting action in the WNBA dump. Right now, the NBA is being brutally criticized for their substandard product. Half the league is tanking. There are too many threes. Every team looks the same. They play the same style. The regular season isn't really competitive. Every February, the NBA is criticized for the annual embarrassment known as the All-Star Game. But the criticism isn't a bad thing, because what it does, it pushes the NBA to improve. The All-Star Game this year, it was great. And the only reason the All-Star Game improved is because people kept complaining about it. Right now, the league is scrambling to solve the tanking problem. They are looking for ways to improve the regular season. But none of that would be happening if the NBA was coddled. For some reason, the media continues to shield the WNBA from criticism. They keep polishing this turd, hoping people will eventually embrace it. They keep telling Angel Reese that she is a major star. So why in the hell would they strive to improve if they keep being told how great they are? They damn sure have no reason to improve now because WNBA players just got paid. The on-court product was struggling when players were making minimum wage. The product was struggling when players were starving. Now, normally when someone is starving, it's the motivation they need to reach greatness. How many times have you heard someone complain about a music artist declining throughout their career? Their first album was a classic. Their second album was good, but their last few albums were the drizzling shits. What the hell happened? What happened is they got comfortable. They lost their edge. There's an old saying, it's hard to wake up at 5 a.m. and do road work when you are sleeping on silk sheets. When the cup of your bank account is running over instead of overdrafting, it's hard to maintain the same level of motivation. So the media, they're not doing the WNBA any favors by shielding them from criticism. They're damn sure not helping by furthering the narrative that WNBA players are the ultimate victims. With that being the case, why would they improve? There's no reason. Everyone knows if you take Caitlin Clark out of this league, if you remove the subsidies that they receive every year from the NBA, the WNBA, it would be bankrupt. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.